What's up, decoders? Welcome back to the channel. This is a live stream, and this is Decoding with Cody, and we are going to cover the breaking news of today, April 21st, 2025. Pope Francis has finally, supposedly, who knows how long he's actually been gone or who knows what the real truth is here, but the story they're giving us today on April 21st, 2025 is that Pope Francis, the 266th Pope of the Catholic Church, has passed away at the age of 88 years old. And if you guys are familiar with my channel, if you're new to the channel, you know we decode this reality. And this is obviously a huge part of this reality. I mean, the Catholic Pope has just died. So this is obviously, this is probably going to be part one of many different decodes on this topic, but this is just the initial decode that I have on Pope Francis' death at 88 years old. And we're going to talk about a lot of things here, a lot of different angles, a lot of different looks, and hopefully people in the chat will also share their findings. But thank you to everyone who's in the chat so far. We got 45 of you. Thank you to Mariana, Juan Francis, JJ Recon, Erica, Maka, and Ziffern, Jesse's girl. Hello to all of you. Let's give it like a minute or two, and then we'll start diving into the numbers and the riddles here. And again, don't be afraid, guys, to write your comments, anything you're seeing. Yes, the news also, there's also in the news. So not only did we get the death of Pope Francis, we also got the resignation of Klaus Schwab. So let's just bring that up real fast. So Mr. Klaus, Davos meeting founder Klaus Schwab steps down as World Economic Forum chair. I mean, wow. In the same day, guys. And these are both huge Jesuit. This guy is a Jesuit, okay? And he's not much younger than Pope Francis. He's 87, and he steps down the same day that Pope Francis dies. I mean, what is the odds of that, first of all, considering we know that Klaus Schwab has a huge role in this new world order, and Pope Francis, essentially, I guess, representing the old world now. I guess we're moving forward, guys. I mean, are we about to ready to see some serious stuff? As the Back to the Future says, Pope Francis dying at 88. You guys know the out of time thing, right? The out of time, 88 miles per hour. The Pope dying at 88, Trump equals 88. Just to add that in here, this is a huge Trump connection, of course, but I mean, Trump equals 88 miles an hour. I'm wondering if California has something going on soon, because California equals 88. But we're going to get into all that later. But but the main story is today, just to break the news. Yeah, decoding our reality. I have that in here, the 288s. I have a lot in here, guys. I have a lot to cover. But the breaking news for those of you just getting in is Klaus Schwab steps down at the World Economic Forum and Pope Francis dies on the Queen's 99th birthday. Okay, so 99 years old the Queen would be today if she was still alive. And remember, King Charles' first full day of being king was the 9-9, right? The word ascension, equals 99. We just had a WrestleMania in Sin City yesterday, which equals 99. A guy named Rollins, the Jesus character, won, equals 99. Again, the Queen would be 99 today. Jupiter, who is the huge connection right now, the Jupiter connection, Jupiter Peter, the first pope, Jupiter, 99. So lots of 99s. I mean, let me just bring up the 99s here. Today would be the 99th birthday of the Queen, right? And yesterday was the first ever WrestleMania on Netflix. And Netflix equals 99. Rapture equals 99. Ascension. A rapture is like an ascension. Basically, the Pope just got raptured on the Queen's 99th birthday. You can't see him anymore. He's not here. He got raptured. I'm not saying he actually got raptured, but he's not here anymore, right? So Jupiter is the king of the gods, and also a huge connection to this. So this all goes together with the Queen's 99th birthday. Big shout out to The Illusion, the YouTube channel The Illusion. Remember, Queen Elizabeth's husband died at 99 years old. Remember, Prince Philip, when he died on the 99th day of the year, and he died at 99 years old. In fact, I didn't even do a measurement from the day he died. But considering that the Pope now dies on Queen Elizabeth's 99th birthday, it's all connected, guys. You know that. But let's get into it. Thank you guys for coming in. Please hit those like buttons. I really appreciate the support. And let's dive right into the numbers, man. Let's get into this. All right. So big connection number one. All right. Besides the Queen, besides all that stuff. Jorge Mario Bergoglio was the Pope's real name, okay? And in gematria, which is the practice of coding letters into numbers, in the reduction cipher of gematria, Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 111, okay? And Jorge Mario Bergoglio has died on the 111th day of the year, okay? So Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 111, he dies on the 111th day of the year. Remember, 9/11 happened on the day that leaves on 111 days in the year. So this doesn't seem like a coincidence. I mean, what's the odds of that? That his name equals 111, he dies with 111 days in the year, okay? So that's number one. Number two, Pope Francis was the first pope to be a part of the Jesuit order, to be a member of the Jesuit order. The sun rays, the 32 sun rays, the Isus Hominum Salvator, Jesus, Savior of men, okay? I just talked about this in my video yesterday. There was a guy in WrestleMania named Salvatore who started the show. And the Jesuit motto is IHS, which stands for Jesus, the Savior of men, okay? And this all connects to the COVID because, well, of course, he died. Pope Francis died of a sickness, right? You know, maybe he got the V word and then he got sick. I don't know. Well, first of all, I don't know if I believe any of that, but it doesn't matter. The point is that from the day that Donald Trump declared the COVID pandemic to the death of the 266th Pope was 266 weeks and 6 days. And again, the Jesuit motto is Isus Hominum Salvator, which equals 266. I mean, wow. 266 weeks and 6 days from Trump's declaration to the death of the 266th Pope. And again, that's coded right into their motto, IHS, Isus Hominum Salvator. Okay, so there's 1 and 2, 111, 266. We're going to keep going. Now, this is the big one, guys. This is the one that I don't know if anyone else is going to find so fast, but I'm proud of this find because this is the big one. Look at this. You have to mention the 201. And look at this stuff, man. There was an eclipse last year on October 2nd, 2024. Eclipse code equals 201, like Catholic Pope, like the Jesuit order, like Catholic Mass. Guys, Pope Francis died 201 days after that eclipse. His name equals 201. Catholic Pope 201, eclipse code 201. Guess where this eclipse went over, guys? Easter Island and Argentina. Wow. This is the big part of the code right here, because this eclipse passed over Easter Island, and the Pope would go on to die 201 days later on Easter Monday. I mean, come on. And eclipse code equals 201, like Catholic Pope. Yes, Dr. Savage, I got the 602s. I was going to talk about those, but Dr. Savage already beat me to it. There's a huge 602, but this 201, and look at the max bandwidth. The width of the band of the eclipse was 266 kilometers, guys. What was my last slide? 266 Pope. The width of the eclipse over Easter Island was 266 kilometers. And this went over Easter Island and Argentina. And where was the Pope from, guys? Argentina. This eclipse was telling us of the death of Pope Francis. It was as simple as that. It was the 266 kilometers to represent his Pope, his papacy, and it had the 201 from the eclipse to his death, 201 days. And this eclipse happened on 10/2, which is the reverse of 201, okay? And Pope Francis lived in the Domus Sanctae Markte at Suite 201. So this is the code. The eclipse was the code. It was the ultimate code, in my opinion. It was the biggest number, the 201, and it went perfectly with the Easter riddle because it went over Easter Island. Okay? That just blew my mind, the Easter Island. I totally forgot that this eclipse went over the Easter Island and Argentina, which is where he's from. Okay, so that's the big one. That's a huge part of this code. Now, remember, we cannot leave out the other big secret society number, the number 322, because the number 322, remember, I made a post. This is a post from my channel 2 months ago. I said this: although I'm feeling super ill, I guess I was sick, I couldn't help but share this crazy thing that just happened to find tomorrow. The only research I did all day, and I find this. Pope Francis will be 32200 days old on 2/12 and 2/13. Okay, so he would go into the hospital a day after he turned 32200 days old. This is the number of skull and bones. He would go into the hospital on Valentine's Day, 2/14, one day after he turned 322. Okay, and I made a post about this, right? He would die 67 days later. Okay, so let's look into this. Why is this so astronomically important? Because the Pope would die at 322267. Okay, there's two numbers in his death age, okay? I want you to see the 322 and the 267. Guys, do you know what the number of the Pope will be, the next Pope? Do you know what number the next Pope will be? Oh, the next Pope will just happen to be the 267th Pope. And now Pope Francis dies at 32267 days old to represent the next Pope being the 267th Pope. I mean, wow. So if you put all this together, the 111, like his name equals 111. He dies on the 111th day of the year. He dies 266 weeks and 6 days after Trump declared the COVID, Isos Hominem Salvator 266. He was the 266th Pope. He dies 201 days after the eclipse over Easter Island, and his name equals 201, like eclipse code, like Catholic Pope, like the Jesuit order. And he died on Easter, and it went over Easter Island. I have 201 in the chat right now. How about that? Right when I'm talking about 201, I got 201 in the chat. That's great. And then he dies 32267 days of his age. That's how old he was. And that's the next Pope will be 267 Pope of the Catholic Church. All right, so 322. And this is a perfect Jesuit connection because this number is 32,267 days, right? 32 is the amount of rays on the Jesuit logo. Okay, 32 rays on the Jesuit logo. The 267 Pope will be the next Pope. Okay, so perfectly, no matter how you look at it, 322 or 32, it has a connection. And this, again, he died on a moon day, guys, a Monday. So there's the moon connection, right? We just had a Pi Day blood moon. In fact, let me type in the most common phrase I saw. The most common phrase I've seen today written in the news is Pope Francis has died. Oh, sorry. Pope Francis has died. And look at this. Pope Francis has died equals 314. Okay, so that's going to connect us back to Pi Day. We just had a Pi Day blood moon on 314. Guys, Pope Francis died 38 days after the Pi Day blood moon. Death equals 38. He died 20 weeks exactly before the next Pi Day blood moon. Death equals 20. The next Pi Day blood moon is on the Queen's death anniversary, essentially, on 9/7/25. Death equals 97 and 25. This is spectacular, man. 38 days after the Pi blood moon and 20 weeks before the next Pi blood moon, death equals 38 and 20. The next blood moon is on 9/7/25. Death equals 97 and 25. I mean, come on, guys. Isn't that not mind-blowing? Every single cipher of the four base ciphers of Gematria points to the two blood moons in the year that he died. Okay? Like, that is wild. So I thought that one was crazy. You know, that's just wild. And here we got to talk about the Queen because this is a huge part of this riddle. All right? So a month ago, I made a video about Gematria, the killing name, 214. Guys, if I would have just thought more about this, I could have easily predicted the day that he would die. Look, I had the number. Guys, this is a video from a month and a half ago. I literally have his death date posted on the front of the video. Okay, yeah, it was the opposite, but it was literally the same digits in his death date, 214. Which is Valentine's Day, or you could say in Europe, he died on 21/4. Okay, so it was right there. It was right there in the code the whole time, right? This is my video from a month ago, okay? So the Pope dies on the Queen's birthday, 140 days before her death anniversary, which is also the blood moon. And look at this. The name of the song which connects to the Pope's death is called Gematria, the killing name. The killing name equals Queen of England and Easter Monday. The Pope died 140 days before the Queen of England's death date on her birthday, and he died on Easter Monday, which all equals 140, okay? And the Queen died 140 days before her birthday. Look at this, guys. I got 214 in the chat, and I have the 214 up. This is getting wild now. I literally have 214. I'm getting ready to talk about 214. And that's what I got in the chat. But I did a crazy video a month ago about Valentine's Day and how it all connects to the heart and the death of Pope Francis. And I had no idea. I didn't even think enough to look at the date of the Queen and see, maybe he's going to pass on the Queen's birthday, right? So this brings us in mind of Prince, because Prince also died on the Queen's birthday. And that means that not only did Pope Francis die on the 99th Queen's birthday, he died 9 years exactly after Prince died on the Queen's birthday. So you have the 999, right? 99 years of the Queen and 9 years after Prince. Okay, so like the 999 is like the 666 flipped upside down. I would die for you. You guys remember Prince had the song I Would Die For You, and he died on 4/21, which is you is the 21st letter, for you, right? So this is another riddle connected to Prince and the Queen, right? And again, it connects perfectly with the Queen's death and the blood moon, right? But here is the biggest riddle, I think, about this whole thing. Little old J.D. Vance just met with the Pope yesterday, guys. He was the last, look at this, Vice President J.D. Vance, last to see Pope alive on Easter Sunday. Okay, so this whole thing is connected to the Valentine's Day heart love riddle. This is all about love, guys. The heart, Valentine's Day, 214. Okay. So J.D. Vance, he was not born on the 214th day of the year because he was born in a leap year. But J.D. Vance's birthday this year will be on the 214th day of the year. And the last person to supposedly see Pope Francis alive was the guy born on the 214th, whose birthday is going to be on the 214th day of the year. And in the prime cipher, Francis equals 214. Okay. He was admitted to the hospital on 214. Okay. 214 is also, August 2nd is also 214th day of the year. That's also the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Okay. Pope Francis died on 21/4. It's the same digits. Or in the United States, you could say that he died on 4/21, which is the 82nd prime number. And again, August 2nd, 82 is the 214th day of the year. Okay. So it all connects back to the 82 and the 421 and the 214. Okay. Again, J.D. Vance was the last person really to see him alive. He was the last publicized person that he met with. Okay. Now here is my video. Okay, guys, this is my video from March 12th, 2025. I posted a video with the numbers 214 on the front of it, the Pope being sick, Gematria the killing name, and now this number has manifested in the Pope's death. Why did I post this video? Well, this song, Gematria the killing name, is by Slipknot, the band. And the lead singer of Slipknot posted on May 4th, 2023, he was quoted as saying this: "I've always wanted to open a concert with Gematria, the killing name," he explained. "There are certain odiums around the way that song was created and recorded, which is why some of the guys in the band are like, F that, we'll never play it." He continued, "The reason isn't even sentimental, it's resentment. For me, man, it's such a effing burner that I just love that song. I can't listen to that S all effing day. It just screaming out of no effing where. But it'll never happen unless the Pope ends up opening up for the Slipknot someday. That shice will never happen." So this band said they would never play Gematria the killing name unless the Pope opened for them. Okay. Now, why is this important? Because he said this on the 124th day of 2023. That's the backwards of 421, the day the Pope died. Notice this day, guys. May 4th is the 124th day of the year. It leaves 241 days in the year. So this digits 124, 241, 214, all the iterations of this number are important here. Okay. So why is this number so important? Because Valentine's Day is the heart, love, Jesus. The Pope was all about promoting the love of Christ to the world, right? He got admitted to the hospital on 214. He died on 21/4. Okay? Saint Valentine's Day equals 214 in Gematria. This is the same Gematria as Gematria the killing name, 214. And remember, Gematria the killing name is the song that Slipknot would not play unless the Pope opened his heart to them. Okay? That's what they meant. The heart. Gematria, the killing name, was released in the year 2014 on YouTube. That's another 214. Okay? So here we go. From the day that Corey Taylor said that we would not play this song unless we opened up for the Pope opened up for us on the 124th day of the year, it was exactly 102 weeks and 4 days till the Pope's death. Like he said that on the 124th day of the year, 214, 124, all the same numbers. On top of that, they actually debuted the song for the first time on 2/28/25. From the day they debuted the song for the first time was also 1/24, 1 month and 24 days. So what is the odds of that? He says this. Look at the lunation of the moon that he said this in. 124. 1241. That was the lunation. He said this on the 124th day of the year. It's just wild, man. It's this digits of 214. Okay, that's why when I posted this video a month ago, I put the digits 214 on there, okay? Because it was all connected to that. So this is the ongoing riddle of gematria, the killing name. And what? Don't forget, guys, what does gematria equal in gematria? Gematria equals 38, like death, right? And it equals 142, which is, again, the same digits of Valentine's Day, 14/2, Valentine's Day again, okay? Gematria. And this takes us all the way back to gematria, the killing name, and Valentine's Day, okay? All right, so this is why J.D. Vance, the guy whose birthday is the 214 day of the year, this is why he was the last person to supposedly see Pope Francis alive, okay? And we're going to talk more about J.D. Vance in a bit, but I think this is the main reason why it was him, because he has that 214 day of the year birthday. All right, so now we got to talk about the 70. The 70. Why? Because Francis and Vatican both equal 70, like serovirus, right? Guys, this is crazy. This is so obvious right here. Pope Francis died 70 days after the Vatican's birthday. Guys, that's so obvious. Vatican equals 70. Francis equals 70. He died 70 days after the Vatican's birthday. And serovirus equals 70. Wow. On top of that, hold on, guys. My slides are not loading. Let me reload this. Hold on. I'm getting to the wrestling part. You guys know, the video I posted yesterday about wrestling got the least amount of views I've gotten in a long time. But I mean, that video I posted yesterday about wrestling was pointing to this. John Cena winning the title last night was all connected to Pope Francis' death. All right, so anyway, I told you, Pope Francis died 70 days after the Vatican's birthday, and Francis and Vatican equals 70, right? He died on 70 date numerology. 4 plus 21 plus 20 plus 25 equals 70. Okay, that's clear as day. On top of that, last night was an historical event right before he died, an historical event with millions of people around the entire world watching on Netflix. John Cena became the new world undisputed champion. Guys, look at what John Cena equals. John Cena equals 70, like Francis, like Vatican. Francis died 70 days after the Vatican's birthday. John Cena, just hours before he dies, becomes the first 17-time world champion. Okay? So this was like a clue again. And look at the date numerology of the day Pope Francis died. 70 and 34. Like John Cena, like Francis equals 70 and 34. Okay? And John Cena's holding up. And Thorinator, I don't know why you hate wrestling so much. I also don't watch it for fun. Thorinator, why do you think John Cena's walking around with a towel that says the last time is now? After this, you can't see me. And the Pope dies, okay? So Thorinator, you bug me sometimes with your... If you don't like watching my videos, don't watch them. That's all I'm saying. Like, if you don't like wrestling so much, then why do you watch my videos? Because you know that I use wrestling as part of my decodes. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, he walks around with the towel that says the last time is now, okay? And that's a reference to Revelation. The Pope just died. So John Cena, right after he wins the title, Pope Francis dies. I mean, there you go. And John Cena equals Francis equals Vatican. John Cena also equals Jesus. Okay? So more on the 70s. If you actually go back to the guy who started off the Sera virus, Kobe Bryant. Remember, Kobe Bryant died in connection to the Pope. He died 41 days after the Pope's birthday. Let me just bring that up real fast. So Kobe died on January 26th, 2020. And that was 41 days. That was 41 days after the Pope's birthday, Kobe Bryant, right? Well, whoops. Kobe Bryant equals 41, like skull and bones, right? He died 41 days after the Pope's birthday, and he died at 41 with his 13-year-old daughter, and 41 is the 13th prime. Well, last night was WrestleMania 41, where John Cena won the title, and now the Pope dies 70 sidereal months after Kobe dies. And Kobe, his death was the one that kicked off Sera virus. And I already showed you in the beginning of this that from the day that Trump announced the corona to the death of the 266th Pope was 266 weeks and 6 days, okay? But the 70 sidereal moon months from Kobe's death to the Pope. Again, Francis 70, John Cena 70, Vatican 70. He died on the 70th date numerology. He might have, coronavirus equals 70, okay? And yeah, this 70 number is huge with the Vatican, with Francis, all that stuff. All right, so this was the last post that Pope Francis tweeted out. Guys, I just did a video yesterday about Christ is risen. I just did WrestleMania was throwing an event where they did Christ rituals. And then the last post that Pope Francis makes was this. He says, Christ is risen. These words capture the entire meaning of our existence, for we are not made for death, but for life. I mean, what in the heck, man? Like, Pope Francis, he says, we are not made for death, but for life, just hours before he dies. And this is where it gets absolutely wild, guys. Again, we use code here. And look at this. If you take the entire tweet of Pope Francis and you decode it in gematria, it just so happens to come out to be the 187th prime number, 1117. 187th prime number, guys. He died just after Adolf's birthday, and Adolf Hitler equals 187, like Society of Jesus. Pope Francis was the Pope from the Society of Jesus. He died in connection to the Brotherhood of Death, which equals 322. Brotherhood of Death equals 187. Okay? And his entire tweet comes out to be the 187th prime number, like Society of Jesus. Now, the Society of Jesus was known for taking people out with arsenic poisoning. Let me show you that real fast. If you can spell it right. Notice how arsenic poisoning equals 187. Well, J.D. Vance went to Yale University, guys. And look, he's shaking the hand. I mean, I'm not saying that's what happened, but the Jesuits are known for arsenic poisoning. And the last guy to meet with Pope Francis was a graduate of Yale University, the Brotherhood of Death, which equals 187, like arsenic poisoning, like Society of Jesus, like Adolf Hitler. And again, arsenic is the 33rd element. Yes, thank you for reminding me. But he died on Hitler's 136th birthday, guys. Look at this. The Jesuits, 136. He died on Adolf Hitler's 136th birthday. Essentially, like one day after, like hours after Hitler's 136th birthday. And don't forget, Mr. Adolf equals Society of Jesus. So in multiple ciphers, you have that connection, right? So he died on Hitler's 136th birthday, the Jesuits 136. Now, the last pope to die was Pope Benedict from where? Germany. Oh, how about that, guys? Germany. And that connects to Hitler, right? Well, this guy died 2 years and 16 days before Pope Francis. Guys, 6 times 6 times 6. Sorry, 2 years and 16 weeks exactly before Pope Francis. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. So now you have the 666 riddles, right? Not only did he die 2 years and 16 weeks, he died 2 years, 3 months, and 22 days after Pope Benedict. And again, that goes back to the 322s I've already mentioned multiple times. But that's the last pope to die to the next pope that dies 2 years, 3 months, 22 days between. Now, remember J.D. Vance being the last person to meet with Pope Francis. Look at this. From the day that he met, or from the day that Pope Francis died to the day that to J.D. Vance's next birthday, 3 months and 12 days. Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 312. That's his full name, Pope Francis' full name. And remember, Donald Trump got 312 votes in the election and chose J.D. Vance as his vice president. And J.D. Vance meets with and then Pope Francis dies 3 months and 12 days before Pope Francis or J.D. Vance's birthday. Okay. And yeah, Joseph, much love to Joseph Aquaviva, Domus Sancte Marte, which is where today is 312 days after Trump's birthday too, huh? Yeah, I missed that. So that's a good one. Thank you, Joseph. So 614, Trump's birthday to the death of Pope Francis. Yeah, look at that. 312 days. 312 days after Trump's birthday. 3 months and 12 days before J.D. Vance's birthday. Trump got 312 votes. Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 312. Domus Sancte Marte equals 312. That's where the Pope Francis lived. If I can spell that. Domus Sancte Marte, 312 and 201. So just like Jorge Mario Bergoglio. Yeah, there's some connections to 7:35 a.m. I'm going to try to get into that. I still got a lot more, guys. We're not even done. All right, so here's the big one. Big shout out Decoding Our Reality on YouTube. He was ahead of this day. Well, kind of. He was talking about April 20th, but it pretty much happened on the same day he was talking about. All right, so this is all about Trump now because Trump turned 288,000 days old on April 20th, right? That was the last day that Pope Francis was alive, 288. That's how old Trump was. Look at this. The Pope equals 288 in the same cipher as Ishtar. Ishtar is essentially Easter. Trump turned 288 on Easter, and that was the last day that the Pope was alive, and the Pope equals 288 like Ishtar in the same cipher. Okay? And this 288 was a huge number this month with Alexander Ovechkin breaking the hockey record. Alexander, his full name equals 288. Okay? So, and notice the numbers in Trump's dial code. It's the 2s and the 8s, right? 2288, 8822. Same numbers. I also wanted to point out that Pope Francis has 9.9 million followers. He died on the Queen's 99th birthday. I started out this video talking about the 99. I talked about how yesterday was the first ever WrestleMania on Netflix, which equals 99. The Jesus character, Rollins, burned it down, which equals 99. Like rapture, like Jupiter ascending, right? The word ascension. Jesus ascends. The word ascension equals 99. This happened in Sin City last night. Remember Mandalay Bay? This was very close to Mandalay Bay in Sin City. So all this stuff equals 99, guys. And this all connects to today's birthday of the Queen, 99 years old. And if I'm not mistaken, Jupiter Ascending movie came out on the Queen's Ascension Day in 2015. I should look into Jupiter Ascending, actually. Let's look into that. Why is this Jupiter Ascending so important? Well, Jupiter, guys. Jupiter, the first pope, Jupiter. The pope ascended. That's what they're going to tell you, at least. He probably descended. Who knows? But Jupiter Ascending, right? Yeah, Jupiter Ascending came out in the United States on the Queen's Ascension Day, February 6th. She became queen on that day. Let's just take a look at the measurement from there. Hold on. Oh, I mean, that's interesting. I mean, so he died. He died 122 months and 16 days after Jupiter ascending. Okay. That's interesting because Pope Francis equals 122 in Gematria. But yeah, I'm not going to get too carried away on that. I just want to talk more about the number 99. And just so you guys know, this all connects to Hitler too, because look at this. Look at these 36s, right? 36, 99, 90, 45. I mean, look at this. Rollins, the Jesus character who I covered in my last video, equals rapture in all ciphers, my friends. I mean, did you guys catch my video from yesterday? Raise your hand in the chat if you caught my video from yesterday. I didn't even mention that Rollins, the Jesus guy who defeated Roman Reigns the other night, he's literally a perfect match to Rapture and Jupiter and Sin City where this happened. Guys, that's a perfect 4 out of 4 match. Why do you think Rollins just became this big character now? Right? I just posted this just to remind people. This is just what happened. He just, okay, so this is so symbolic, guys. Here's the Roman Empire laying on the ground. Now the Roman Catholic Church Pope dies. And this guy's phrase is burn it down. He burned it down, guys. He burned down the Pope's papacy with the help of Paul. And again, this all happened on Netflix, which essentially equals the same. It's just crazy. That's like a perfect match in all ciphers, man. I mean, I've been talking about I don't believe in a rapture 100% like everyone else. Like I just live day by day, but like, look at how the rapture riddles are everywhere, man. I mean, I just talked about how Wayne Gretzky broke the record against number 99 this month. And now the Pope dies on the Queen's 99th birthday, right after Rollins, which equals 99 like rapture, like Jupiter. And the movie Jupiter Ascending is about ascension. And the word ascension equals 99. Like Mandalay Bay, which connects with all this other stuff in Sin City. Like, I mean, wow. So there's definitely a riddle there with that 99. Definitely there. And that just goes back to what I started talking about. The Pope has 9.9 million followers right now when he dies. 9.9. All right, so now we got to talk about Revelation because Pope Francis died on the Queen's birthday. The Queen equals 726, like a revelation, like Antichrist. He died 7 months and 26 days before his birthday. Wow. The Queen, 726, like revelation, like Antichrist. He died 7 months, 26 days before his birthday. Harpazo guys, the word for rapture in the Strong's Concordance is 726. So this also points to that. Harpazo. Strong 726. Right here. $726 harpazo. Okay. And I just talked about the 99s and rapture, right? All this stuff. And now he died 7 months and 26 days before his birthday, which is a huge number. Okay. Revelation, Antichrist, the Queen, harpazo, all 726. Oh, and what does harpazo mean, guys? It means to seize. Harpazo means to seize. Right here. And what does that equal? Oh, it just happens to equal all of the things I just typed. Look. To seize equals Jupiter, Rapture, Rollins, Netflix, Hitler, Ascension. I mean, wow. So that's a big one. All right, so now we got to connect this real fast to the current head of the Society of Jesus, Arturo Sosa. So Pope Francis died 205 days before Arturo Sosa's birthday. Pope equals 205. He also died a span of 206 days before Arturo Sosa's birthday. Sacrifice equals 206. And look at this. You guys remember when the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed in connection with Pope Francis? Okay, well, here we go. Pope Francis died exactly a 56-week span after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed. And Society of Jesus equals 56. Pope equals 56. And again, Francis Scott Key. The Vatican has the keys on it. Francis, it literally telling us 56 weeks later, man. And remember, coronavirus equals 56. All right. Also, what was I going to say? Also, what's crazy, if you go from Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse on March 26th, okay, first of all, March 26th in Europe is written 263, right? Well, what's 263? 263 is the 56 prime number, okay? 56 weeks later, after 263, he dies. Society of Jesus 56, Pope 56. But look at this. If you go from that day to the day he dies, it's 1 day shy of 128. I mean, that's interesting, guys. Why is that so interesting? That means tomorrow or on John Cena's birthday. Guys, John Cena's birthday is in 2 days. On John Cena's birthday, it will be 1 year and 28 days from the bridge collapse on 128. So this, I believe, watch out for John Cena's birthday, guys. This is absolutely a high watch date because this is 1 year and 28 days after the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed at 128. Okay. And John Cena just won the title, again, pointing to this day, 423. And look at the eclipse that happened on the bridge collapse, eclipse 113. John Cena's birthday is the day 113th day of the year. Kobe Bryant 113. I already connected this with John Cena. If you guys are just getting in, I think I'm almost done. Hold on. Let me just get through my slides and then we'll hang out a bit. All right, so two amazing comments from Back Once Again 94 and Jover. Again, make sure you guys go check out Decoding Our Reality. This is his channel. Today is, okay, so will California or San Francisco have an earthquake today? I'm also watching for this because San Francisco, St. Francis, from 9/9/1850 to 4/21, 9111 weeks. California, founded on 9/9, guys. Pope just died on the Queen's 99th birthday. From San Andreas movie premiere, 5/21/2015 to the day, 9 years, 11 months. Okay? 9 times 11 is 99. Ascension, 99. All the things I was just showing you with the 99. Okay? And as he pointed out, California founded on 9/9. Pope, now this one's crazy. Look at this. Pope dies with 985 minutes remaining in the day. Can someone else double check this? Because I didn't double check this. Hey, Sean in the chat. Widow's son is in the chat. I just want to verify this with somebody else that this is right. But the Pope died with 985 minutes left in the day. If that's true, that's absolutely insane. Because 7:35 a.m. is the 455th minute of the day. Yeah, Jesse. Sorry, Jesse girl. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky wore the number 99 when he passed. When Ovechkin passed him. So if the Pope passed with 985 minutes in the day, that means he passed on the Jesus number. Jesus got him, guys. Jesus took out the Pope. 985 is Jesus. So if the Pope died with 985 minutes in the day, that's interesting. So I just thought that was a great connection by these two. And now we have to start thinking about who might be the next Pope. Well, one of the top contenders is an Asian guy from the Philippines. Remember, if this connects to the Queen, her husband died on the 99th day of the year at 99 years old, and now Pope Francis dies on the Queen's 99th birthday, and this guy is from the Philippines, and the Queen's husband was named Prince Philip. Okay, so this guy's name is Luis Antonio Goycom Tagle. So this is one of the guys to watch for. And there's also talk about possibly a black pope. That would be interesting. I think that would be like hugely symbolic and hugely signs of the last pope. But this guy is one to watch. Look at this guy holding up the. I mean, why are these guys holding up demon horns? I mean, what sign is that? So watch out for this guy. I can't remember what his name equals. Hold on. He's known as Luis Antonio Tagle. I mean, people in the chat are saying there won't be a new pope. Well, that means you guys think that something big is going to happen in the next days before they elect him. But yeah, I mean, maybe. But look at this, guys. I already connected this to the Pope's connection to Gematria, the killing name. Remember this artist said that the only way they would play their song Gematria, the killing name, is if the Pope opened up for them. And the name of the song Gematria, the killing name, look at this. Look at what this guy's name equals. It literally equals the killing name, which is, I just made this connection. And this guy who might be replacing the Pope, Luis Antonio Tagle, has that gematria of the killing name and Queen of England, which he died on the Queen of England's birthday. Again, and if you guys missed it, you guys might be saying, why is he talking about some random song called Gematria, the killing name? Well, that's because this whole thing was connected to the death of the Pope. I made this video a month ago with the 214 on it, and now the Pope dies on 214. And it's all connected back to the heart, guys. the heart of Jesus, the love. Okay? St. Valentine's Day, 214. Gematria, the killing name, 214. But the eclipse code is certainly big here. I just want to reiterate this eclipse code, okay? In Gematria, eclipse code equals 201, like Catholic Pope, like the Jesuit order. Pope Francis died on Easter Monday, 201 days after the eclipse over Easter Island and his home country of Argentina. He lived in Vatican Suite 201. His name equals 201. He lived in the Domus Sancti Marte, which equals 201. And the width of the band of this eclipse was 266 kilometers. And Pope Francis was the 266th Pope who died 266 weeks and 6 days after Trump's declaration. And the motto of the Jesuits is Isus Hominum Salvator, which equals 266. Okay. So I think this is one of the biggest slides here, right? Because this is like Easter Island, guys, the eclipse over Easter Island. I mean, come on now. And then he dies on Easter Monday, 201 days later. Man. All right. Let me go to the chat because we are going to see what you guys are seeing. All right, leave your best comments in the chat now, guys. Yeah, there's another guy that I'm looking at, Pietro Parolin. So let's look at Pietro Parolin. This guy, Pietro Parolin, could be the next pope. So he was born on January 17th, 1955. And how old was Pietro Parolin? How old was Pietro Parolin, the possibly new pope, on the day that Pope Francis died? This guy that could be the next pope was 3,666 weeks old exactly. Wow. So if there's going to be a number of the beast riddle, 666 riddle with this next pope, I mean, there you go. And thank you for reminding me, Dr. Savage. Let me get to that in a minute. I actually found, this was the first thing I found, Dr. Savage. I'm not stealing this from you, but I'm glad you're bringing it up because this is actually the first thing I found on this. I measured from the day he became Pope on 3/13/2013 to the day he died was 4,423 days. Well, 4423 is the 602 prime. So he died 602 prime days after he was Pope, right? In Revelation, this I didn't know. In Revelation, 602 is Revelation. Wow. 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 602 is Apocalypsis, guys. Unveiling. He died 602 prime days after he became Pope. His name equals 602. Watch this. And here I just get a notification that Bitcoin has hit 88,000 on the day that the Pope dies at 88. But look at his name, guys. In the prime cipher, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 602. He dies 602 prime days after he became Pope, and his name equals 602. And in the Strong's Concordance, Apocalypsis is 602. Wow. Come on, guys. Hit the like button for that. That is wow. Out of all numbers that he could have died after he became Pope, it was the 602nd prime days, which is Apocalypse or Revelation. And his name in primes, I'm not saying this is the most trustworthy cipher ever, but in primes, his name equals 602, my friends. I believe there was another 602 I had found. Hold on a second. Master Builder, Eclipse Ritual 602, as I think Dr. Savage mentioned that. Eclipse Ritual 602 in Jewish. Oh man. Social credit score, guys. Uh-oh. Social credit score equals 602. Uh-oh. Get ready equals 602. Nuclear missile equals 602. The word buy equals 602. What are we supposed to be buying, guys? The word buy equals 602. There is a tweet in the XRP community that says, when my hero JB dies, you have 4 days to buy. So this is in the XRP community. I'm not saying buy XRP right now, but I don't know. This is interesting. 4 days after, this is a code that goes around the riddlers in the community of XRP. It says 4 days after my hero JB dies is the last chance to buy. I don't know what that means. Area code of Phoenix is 602, huh? Wow. Well, the reason I'm saying JB, guys, is because Pope Francis' name is literally Jorge Bergoglio, which is JB. Right? His name is Jorge Bergoglio, JB. So that's interesting. But somebody's saying that the area code for Phoenix, and when was Phoenix founded, guys? It was founded on Valentine's Day. Phoenix area code. Yep, indeed it is. Phoenix area code is 602. The Phoenix is rising. Oh, man. Jupiter ascending, you know, like a phoenix. So we've talked about all this stuff, guys. And the Klaus Schwab thing, I haven't even had a chance to look into that yet. Klaus Schwab also resigned today. Let's see how many days Klaus Schwab and Pope Francis were born apart. Let's just see something here. Oh, look at that. They're born 1 year, 3 months, 14 days apart. So they got a pi connection, these two. That's Klaus Schwab and Pope Francis. All right, I got to get back to the chat because I want to get your guys' comments. All right. Yeah, Joseph, I mentioned the date numerology for today is 70 and 34. Like Francis equals 70 and 34. Wait, I'm way behind. Hold on. Klaus Schwab is in his 88th year of life. He's 87. He's in his 88th year of life. Yes. Again, make sure you guys go check out Decoding Our Reality. Today is 27 months and 3 days after Pope Benedict died. 273 is the 214th composite. Wow. Amazing. Amazing, guys. So if you guys missed the beginning of my decode about why the 214 is so important, Decoding Our Reality just made a huge find. 273 is the 214th composite. And that's how many, it's been 27 months and 3 weeks since the last Pope died. A random guy on YouTube says Jaylen Brown is JB, can face Cleveland Cavaliers with 111 days. Pope died on 111th day of the year. Yep. Thank you guys so much for the comments. Please hit those like buttons. We're gonna stay on for a little bit longer. Let me just get comfortable here. I'm a bit uncomfortable, but is there anyone in the chat that wants to share anything else? Just drop it in. Great connection by Sirius Headed here, connecting with Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin, I believe, just hit 88. Let's see. Bitcoin. Just to look at the markets here and see how this death of the Pope actually affects the markets. Oh, look at where XRP's at, man. Is it going to be at 214 today? Guys, the high price on XRP is 214 today. Wow. That is interesting. The high price is 214.14. Holy moly. Why is that so significant? Well, if you guys know anything about XRP and the Riddlers, there is a Riddler who did a post. Okay, so this is a riddle from the XRP community. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but right here on the picture, it shows, so it begins. And in the center here, and look at this post, guys, 214 Ripple. This was from 5 years ago, this guy posted this. But look, there's the 14 in the heart right there in the center, man. That's pointing right to the 214 Valentine's Day. And that's the only number on this riddle. It's got the 1, 2, 3, like the countdown, and it says, so it begins. So all I'm saying is the price of XRP today, the high price of today is 214. And that's what this picture is connected to, XRP. And I already showed you that the Riddler posted that the last chance to buy is 4 days after JB dies, which is Jorge Mario Bergoglio. So I don't know. I'm just theorizing here, but I'm not saying to go buy anything at all. I'm just saying. Did he die from asthma? Is that the report? Yeah, I need to talk about 7-1's Mercury stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so 7-1. Okay, so first of all, hey, Decoding Our Reality, can you post all the significant connections with the revolution, the American Revolution? I know you're in the chat. So Decoding Your Reality, can you post me a comment of all the connections from the American Revolution to the Civil War and the last couple days? It's all lined up, guys. But we got to talk about 7-1 because he posted a video. Let me just find his channel real fast. Let me close out a few of these things. All right, so we have to check out 7-1. Find his channel here. All right, so he posted this video just a few hours ago about the Mercury connection. Today is, can someone remind me, it's 1033 Mercury birthday after the anniversary of America, isn't it? Or what is it? Can someone remind me what that is in the chat? Because I don't remember exactly what the thing was. I'm just waiting on the comments here to see what anyone else has to share. But thank you guys so much. I have 353 of you in the chat. You guys are awesome. I just want someone in the chat to remind me, hey, Widow Son, are you still in the chat? Can you remind me of how many, what the Mercury birthday was? Somebody says in the chat that Rome was founded on 421. Is that a real fact? Hold on. Was Rome founded on 421? According to tradition, 421, Romulus and his twin brother Remus found Rome on a site where they suckled by a she-wolf. Wow. Huh. Guys, look at this. 753 BC. That's the anagram of the death time of the Pope. They say he died at 735, and now the Pope has died at 735 on April 21st, the supposed founding of Rome. Guys, this was just days after the Roman Empire fell to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania just 2 days ago. And the guy who won the championship the other day was a twin, and we're talking, and this whole WrestleMania was connected to the Wolves, man. That's what this was all about, man. WrestleMania the last 2 days was all about Wolves and Jesus Christ and Rome, man. That's crazy. According to tradition, April 21st, Romulus and his twin brother, Remus, founded Rome on the site where they were suckled by the she-wolf. And now he dies on the Queen's birthday, guys. The she-wolf, you get it? Oh, look at that, man. She-wolf. She-wolf equals 88. The Pope dies at 88 on the Queen's 99th birthday. Yesterday in wrestling, a wrestler named Io Sky, the Queen of the Sky, won. So yeah, everything was connected with this riddle here. And let's not forget that 214 is also Lupercalia, which is about the wolf. Lupercalia, yeah, that's what this is connected to. All right, let me hit the comments. I think I missed a comment. Widow's Son's comment. I'm looking for it. Man, you guys are blowing up my chat. I can't even find your comments now. What was the 1033, though? All right, so here's Decoding Our Reality. He says, today is 1038 Mercury birthdays after the American Revolution, 681 Mercury birthdays after the American Civil War, and 98 after 9/11. Well, there you go. Today is 98 Mercury birthdays after 9/11. The Queen died on 9/8, which is the celebration of Mary. So how about that? Yeah, on the clocks and Back to the Future is the 7:53, man. That's the anagram of the 7:35, which is the time that they're saying he died at. Vatican News. Now this is saying 7:30. They changed it. They changed the time now. They were saying 7:35. Oh no, right here it says at 9:45 a.m. Cardinal Kevin Farrell. Guys, 9:45 a.m. Wow. This is a number I just talked about recently. Okay, it's 1033 Mercury birthdays since July 4th, 1776. Wow. Let's just look at that. Hold on. Oh, okay, so it's almost 1033 Mercury birthdays. So on John Cena's birthday, will be 1033 Mercury birthdays since the United States 7/4/1776. So what was I saying? So yeah, the Vatican says he died at 7:35. Rome was founded in 753. I did not know that. Man, thank you for telling me that, whoever. But here it is, guys. That's why the Wolves, I couldn't figure out, the life of me, why the Wolf was so prominent yesterday in WrestleMania. Why did the WWE put out a video game called Fatal Fury? Why did they put out this video game on their show Fatal Fury City of Wolves? And it's going to be releasing on the 24th. But yeah, it goes back to this Romulus and Remus. Yeah, I can't find my thing now, but it's there. And let's not forget that J.D. Vance, I'm just going to go back into the comments. I'm a bit scatterbrained now. Hold on. Kind of Kosher says, last couple of weeks they've been talking about the extinct wolf that scientists have been able to bring back. Dire wolf. I'll have to look into that story. And yes, the Vatican does have a big snake where the Pope talks from. Yeah, I looked into Eurotrip. Remember, in Eurotrip, they actually get the Pope's death confused, and they do a conclave for the new Pope. And Eurotrip was connected to Trachtenberg, and Trachtenberg just died. Yeah, so that's a good point also. Yeah, I actually looked into the Pope's Exorcist as well. From the Pope's Exorcist movie, let's just look into that. The Pope's Exorcist came out on April 5th, 2023. So exactly 25 moon phases, like Pope equals 25. Huh. So look, 131 prime days since the Pope's Exorcist, which is the 32nd prime. The Jesuit logo has 32 sun rays. It'd be crazy if they said that he died at 7:38 because that's how many days it was after the Pope's exorcist. But they say he died at 7:35 a.m. or whatever time that was. Anyway, Jennifer Lopez played Selena. Lopez means wolf. Yeah, Seth Rollins, who just won the other night, his last name is Lopez. So lots of wolf stuff. The Wolves beat the Lakers? Oh, is the NBA playoffs already? Man, I didn't realize the NBA playoffs were already starting. So the Timberwolves beat the Lakers yesterday. So that's probably connected with this wolf theme. 117. I swear I saw that number. Interesting. Romulus and Remus, the new dire wolves, dire times. Yeah, Sirius, the dog star, also sometimes called the wolf star. The Golden Gate Bridge is going to turn. That's right, guys. The construction of the Golden Gate Bridge just turned 88. Wow, okay. That makes sense. Watch out for the Golden Gate, man. I mean, it could just be a connection with Pope Francis dying, but so the Golden Gate construction was April 19, 1937. The Golden Gate construction just turned 88 years old. So this thing literally happened after the Golden Gate turned 88, the construction ended. That's kind of what the wait was for. And of course, the Golden Gate is in San Francisco. And Pope Francis died 32,267 days old. You see this 267? The next pope is the 267th pope. The Golden Gate of the ecliptic. Golden Gates of the ecliptic at 267 degrees. The Golden Gate is currently at 267 degrees in the sky, right? And Pope Francis dies at 32,267 days old, making way for the Golden Gate Pope, the 267th Pope. The Philadelphia area code is 267. Kobe Bryant was from Philadelphia. Philadelphia won the Super Bowl this year. So this, I mean, raise your hand in the chat if you guys realize how big it is that the Golden Gate Bridge construction just turned 88 years old, literally just a day or two before the Pope dies at 88. That's big right there. That is big. And remember, what did they just post last month on 3/20? They posted 68 bridges that are at risk of collapse. Good one by Trey Patton in the chat. Trey Patton says that today is 83 days after 128. That's big too, because today is 83 days after the date 128 and bridge collapse. Bridge collapse equals 128. And today is 83 days after 128. Well, collapse equals 83. And look at what the word collapse equals, guys. The word collapse in the capital cipher equals 266. Pope Francis was the 266th Pope. I don't know. But definitely something with California, man. Watch for California earthquake. Definitely something to watch. Yeah, let's talk a bit about Elvis Presley and the Space Needle, because big shout out to Garo from Jurassic Liars. When did the Space Needle open? The Space Needle opened on April 21st, 1962, which means today is 63 years exactly after the Space Needle opened. The 256. So yeah, there's something here with the Space Needle for sure. I mean, today is the anniversary of the Space Needle. It says it gets 2.65 million visitors. Huh. The Space Needle is at coordinates 47 and 122. What? Okay, well, that is interesting. The Space Needle equals Pope Francis. If you type in the Space Needle, hold on. Yeah, so that is a bit interesting. So today is the Space Needle's anniversary. The Space Needle equals Pope Francis. Take that for what you will. For those of you just getting in, I've already talked about Klaus Schwab a bit. I haven't done an intricate decode about Klaus Schwab, but the point is that we've talked about a lot of things already on this stream. What do you guys think? You guys think I should keep this stream going, or you think I should come back with a part 2 after I do more research? I'm getting my back's getting a bit tired here sitting, but I've been busy all morning, man. Okay, we're going to keep it going for a little bit longer. But make sure you guys keep dropping that stuff in the chat. I need your guys' finds now. Somebody's saying there's a song by the Grateful Dead called California Earthquake. Huh. Pope's Exorcist premiere to today is 216. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. That's another 216. Good one. Let's see. I'm just leaving up the main point. One of the biggest points of this decode is the eclipse. Let's see how many days he died before the next solar eclipse. 2026 solar eclipse. Well, let's see how many days he died after the Great American Eclipse. Let's start with that. So he died 378 days after, or 54 weeks exactly. He died 54 weeks exactly after the Great American. That was on the 99th day of the year, guys, with 267 days remaining. There it is. So this whole decode, I've been talking about 99. And now it's talking about 267. The next pope will be the 267th pope. This was the Great American Eclipse. And he died 54 weeks exactly. Like sun. Sun equals 54. The sun logo, right? 378 days is the 27th prime, or 27th triangular number. Sun equals 27. Ritual equals 27. Jesuit order equals 54. Died 54 weeks after that eclipse. Now, the 2026 eclipse is on August 12th, 2026. So let's see see if there's any connection. So wait a minute. He died. He died 1 year, 3 months, 22 days before the eclipse in 2026. So another 322. That's 1 year, 113 days. I just had another 113 there. He died 92 prime days before that eclipse. Yeah, you know these eclipses are huge. I mean, the big one though is the big one was this eclipse right here. After the last solar eclipse, the Pope died 201 days later. Eclipse code 201, Catholic Pope 201, the Jesuit order 201. It was over Easter Island. What's Easter Island equal? Easter Island. I got to look more into that because okay, the Spanish is Isla de Pascua, which equals 111. Today's the 111th day of the year. Alrighty then. And this for sure connects to the wrestling thing with Roman Reigns, who's Polynesian. Chile annexed Easter Island in 1888. You know, I've never looked into Easter Island, but something I should probably look into now, because this is definitely connected to that eclipse that went over Easter Island. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hold on. Yeah, so you guys make sure if you find anything, you know. Golden Gate Bridge official name is Golden Gate Bridge, and highway district equals 111. Highway District. Golden Well, Golden Gate Bridge equals 81, which is 9 times 9. And 419 is the day that the Golden Gate construction ended, which is the 81st prime. So it all kind of goes back to that, I guess. Thank you to the 325 of you still in here. We're just wrapping up this stream. Please hit those like buttons if you haven't already. Let's try to get these likes to 300 before we end, guys. Yeah, hold on a second. You should be a moderator now, babe. 7154 says check his post on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to check that out, brother. See if I can find. So if you guys don't know who this guy is, amazing decoder who decodes the Golden Gate Bridge. So we're going to look for 7154. Hold on. All right, so he writes, Pope Francis passed away on the exact day that Steph Curry turned 1936 weeks old, matching the year of his birth. Wow. Guys, that's crazy, right? Pope Francis passed away on the exact day that Steph Curry turned 1936. Wow. 4 years ago, I wrote about the connection between Pope Francis, Steph Curry, and the Golden State Warriors. Now, on the day of his passing, it aligns in the most unmistakable way with Curry. It's a moment that I can't be ignored. And yet, while many will miss the true depth of this connection, they'll continue to focus on surface level, unable to grasp what's happening. They may try to decode, but it's obviously they're not seeing the full picture. Yeah, so again, the first thing I thought of, and big shout out to you, 77154. We actually share a birthday, me and this guy, which is crazy. That's cool. I think that's really cool that we share a birthday. But 1936 is how old Steph Curry is today. And what cipher are you using there, 7-1? With Antichrist equal 1936? I also wanted to point out something while I'm waiting on him. What cipher were you using, man? For the 1936? Is that? Am I missing something there? I wanted to point out too that notice how Antichrist equals 440, like Bishop of Rome. So Bishop of Rome equals 440, like Pope Francis is the Bishop of Rome. And also XRP. You guys know I talk about XRP, but Antichrist, Bishop of Rome, and XRP all equal 440. My girlfriend thinks that the next Pope might be black. Yeah. But yeah, make sure you guys go subscribe to all the great channels out there. This is one of them, 7154. He doesn't get enough recognition for his work on the Golden Gate Bridge. I've read through a lot of his book, and I need to finish your book, but great stuff. I'm not sure why these pictures aren't loading, but that's interesting. Oh, you have a custom cipher. I see. I got you. That's crazy. All right. I mean, and make sure you guys go check out all the other channels. Here's some other channels to check out. Ball Don't Lie. Make sure you guys go check out his channel. The Illusion, who already did a video on this today, his channel. Joseph Aquaviva, 2222, his channel. Dan Barrett, another good channel, his channel. Decoding Our Reality. Truth Hunter, another up-and-coming channel. 7-1, spelled just like this. Steve Fletcher, another channel I watch often. Waters Above, he's more of a crypto decoder, but good decoder as well. Gematrinator, of course, the guy responsible for the calculator and big part of this community. Much love to him. I think that's everyone. I mean, I hit a lot of the channels, so Widow's Son. Sorry, Widow's Son. I forgot about him. Widow's Son. Pope died 248 days before Christmas. Yeah, there's a Christmas connection here. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even connect him to the portals. He opened up those portals. Oh, first of all, he died 125 days after his birthday, okay? This is a time travel. Sorry, time travel. Look at this. Time travel 125. He died 125 days after his birthday. Time travel also equals 44. He died 4 months and 4 days after his birthday. That just connects with the out of time thing from Back to the Future. But 125 is an important number because 125 is 5 times 5 times 5. He also died 17 weeks and 6 days after his birthday. That's a connection with the 88. 88 plus 88 is 176. Let's see. There's so many comments, man. My chat is overflowing with comments today. Thank you guys for that. Zenith of the Alpha. I forgot to mention his channel. Make sure you guys go check out Zenith of the Alpha America. He says, speaking of time travel, look into Quantum Leap number 418. Trust me on this. All right. Quantum Leap number 418. Is this a show? Yeah, it's 39 years and 201 days. My girlfriend is pointing out 39 years, 201 days after Back to the Future. Today's the 129th Boston Marathon, my girlfriend is also saying. It's today the Boston Marathon. Boston. Yeah, the Boston Marathon, I guess, will be today. Why is it not saying that? Boston Marathon date. Yeah, it's today. What does that equal? And just think about it, guys. Boston, Massachusetts. And Mass equals Pope. So, I mean, there's a lot there, probably. Yeah, I'm seeing 322 in the chat a lot today. Lots of 322 people in the chat. Sean, I thought, are you saying Francis died 62 years and 26 days after Kobe, after he was born? Yeah, that didn't seem right to me, Sean. So I was just wondering, you probably have to retype that. 62 months. Oh, yeah. I get it. Yeah. I did see that actually. I remember looking at that real quickly. Yeah, so here is your 6226 connection. And Sean, I actually showed the 70 months sidereal because Francis equals 70, Vatican equals 70, died on 70 date numerology. But look at this. He died 273 weeks after Kobe. That's the 214th composite. 273 is the 214th composite. And but yeah, the 6226 is crazy because the queen equals 6226. And Kobe is connected to Jordan, who has all those 6226s. Yeah, I talked about Jupiter and the 99. I talked about Philip and the 99. Yep, talked about all that. Jupiter ascending. I talked about that as well. But thanks everyone for dropping all these things. I think I'm going to get ready to hang it up. I can't sit here any longer. I need to eat something. Big shout out to also Casey Jones Astrology in the chat. Once again, Sean is super connected. Yeah, Sean just messaged me last night before this happened saying he was at a party with somebody and their father who was on their 40th birthday. And of course, then we have the father of the church, you know, they call him the father. But again, make sure you guys go check out Sean's channel. But yeah, I got to take a break, guys. All morning, literally since the minute I opened my eyes, I was doing this. And I need to eat. I need to get my back straight because I've been sitting too long. But For those of you who stuck around the whole stream, I still have 300 of you in here. That's crazy. And don't forget, if you want to support the channel, hit the like button. I also have a buy me a coffee link at the top of the chat if you guys feel like supporting in any other way. But this will be part one of many. I'm sure we'll talk about this at least a couple more times. So if you guys find anything, please put what you find in the comments of this video, and I will do my best to put it all together. So have a good rest of your day, everyone, and God bless, and we'll see you very soon in the next video.